located in the historical centre of Florence, the Piazza della Signoria. Now the various squares of Florence are all magnificent, they're all unique and special in their own way, but walking through this piazza, there's something about it. I guess it's all of the artwork and the history, the Medici's, expat lifestyle with Pats. Thumbs up, share and subscribe. I hope you enjoy this episode. Now, if my children are listening, don't read anything into this. As I say to my children, you're all special and unique in your own individual ways. And I guess that's like the piazzas here in Florence. They're all special, they're all lovely. But I tell you what, this piazza here, della Signoria, it's just something else with the old palace behind me there, the outdoor sculptures, the Loggia. You know, that's 14th century, and some of the sculptures in there are just fantastic. It's a wonderful, wonderful piazza. And look, centuries ago, the place of executions, and more recently, a place to celebrate cultural events too. They're happening all the time. So the Piazza della Signoria, it's special. It really is. The old palace behind me, the home of the Medici, that dynasty that controlled Florence for so long. Now it's midday here in the Piazza della Signoria. Not ideal. It's very, very crowded, and this is what you can sort of expect with all the people here, because let's face it, it's a fantastic square, this one. This piazza holds so many cultural events, historical events, celebrations, also contemporary events too. For instance, in today's time, the world cycling teams who are competing in this year's Tour de France, I'll be seeing them all right behind me, because the Tour de France is starting here on Saturday. How about that? That's crazy, isn't it? Because I'm a big fan of cycling and endurance sports for a long, long time. I'm really looking forward to that. Maybe get a little bit of footage to share with you too. Now literally, just here marks the spot. There's a circular plaque actually, and I'll show you that in a moment. So this spot is signifying where Savonarola, who was a priest in the late 15th century, met his fate, I guess. So he was like a fun police. So he was anti-books, anti-colourful clothing, but he got himself in trouble with the Pope, with the Church. In 1497, he burnt books, he burnt clothes, but a year later, they burnt him. Actually, they hung him first and then burnt him right here as an example. Pretty brutal, isn't it? I'll show you the spot right now. Here we go. And we've got a little bit of outside intervention there too. Can you see that there? Known as Michelangelo's graffiti. Now, there's a few stories, but apparently, one early morning he was walking along and he had an art critic. Someone was criticising his David. Would you believe that? Anyway, so he chiselled the profile of the person who was criticising him. The other story I've heard is that he was walking along and this guy stopped him for a chat, and he went on and on and on, and Michelangelo became so bored that he got his chisel out and did that graffiti there. A third story is he did that with his back to it, so he chiselled that face into the rock without looking at it, behind his back. But there you go, Michelangelo's graffiti, found in the Piazza della Signoria, just behind Hercules. Okay, so when you're here in Florence, check it out, it's great. Now behind me is the entrance to the Palazzo Vecchio, the old palace. Well worth a visit. The museum and a climb to the tower. I've been in there once or twice, so I'll show you a bit of footage now, but I strongly encourage you to do that tour if you're here. It's great. Within the Palazzo Vecchio features a collection of art and historical artefacts, offering insights into the Medici's patronage of the arts and their impact on Florence's cultural development. The Medici apartments and museum provide a unique opportunity to step back in time and appreciate the rich history and artistic heritage of the Medici family and the city of Florence during the Renaissance. Fascinating glimpse into the opulent world of the Medici family, one of the most influential and powerful dynasties in Renaissance Florence. The Medici apartments are a collection of lavishly decorated rooms on the second floor of the Palazzo Vecchio, which served as the private residence of the Medici rulers. Here you can explore the various rooms, each adorned with intricate frescoes, ornate ceilings and elegant furnishings. Once considered a death mask. Dante Alighieri, father of Italian language and literature, died in exile and was buried in 1321 in Ravenna because he had been banished from Florence. The vast hall, as we see here, is the centrepiece of the museum and is adorned with monumental frescoes depicting significant events in Florentine history. The Museum of the 500 is a significant cultural and historical attraction in Florence, and I encourage you to visit it. It will provide you an opportunity to immerse yourself in art, history and politics from this remarkable Renaissance era. Look at that, this is a glorious piazza, isn't it? Try and get here this time of night, just on sunset, or early morning, because you get the sun behind the tower. It's some lovely photos. By the way, I'm calling it now, this is my favourite piazza. It's great. However, for my children, no favourites. You know that, or I hope you know that. I'm telling you now, okay? No favourites. And look, I'm going to see you soon, in a few days. Right, now I love hanging out of windows, by the way. Look at that cafe there. That actually is the cafe at the Uffizi Museum, the open air section. So just inside, you order your drink, you can come out, sit down and marvel at the beautiful facade of the Palazzo Vecchio. And look, I did want to come back at night just to show you what this piazza looks like with the lights on. Piazza della Signoria. It's a wonderful square to visit, and you've got to do it. Of course you'll do it when you're here in Florence. You can't miss it. Expat Lifestyle with Babs. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Please share, give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, subscribe. I'll see you next episode. And by the way, in 2 days' time, the Tour de France is starting here, and I'm also heading back to Australia for a couple of weeks. So I'm looking forward to sharing my experiences with you. Ciao.